How's it going, guys? Series here. Today I'm going to talk to you about a farming strategy that I normally do on League Start when my build is strong enough to handle harder content. This is the Shaper Guardian map farm. Now of course we're going to be pairing that up with other mechanics to provide more loot. Let's get into the farm. The thing is, we're farming the Shaper Guardian maps, the Minotaur, the Chimera, the Hydra and the Phoenix. Now when you enter this map, you go ahead and kill the boss. It will drop you one of those fragments right here. Now those fragments aren't very expensive, as you can see. However, when you witness them by the Maven, you can go ahead and do the Maven invite, and it will drop crescent splinters. 10 of those will make a Maven writ, and we will be profiting from those as well, selling them for 70 to 80 chaos a piece. However, this is not the only thing that we're profiting from. As you can see on the atlas, we're gonna be pairing that up with Heist, of course, profiting from those deception contracts and blueprints. And I wanted to introduce Delirium to this farm. So when you put a map with Delirium in it, you're going to be generating a lot of random rewards, being currency, stacked decks, clustered jewels, essences, maybe gems or scarabs. So we're talking here about the profit from the guardians themselves, from the heist, from the Delirium itself. Of course, Delirium orbs sell for quite some currency. And of course the Maven invites that we're gonna run. Let's talk a bit about the atlas. We're taking all the heist nodes, of course. We're taking all the increased effect of map modifiers, because this will scale the quantity and rarity of items. However, this also will scale the negative modifiers on the map, so be careful of that. And of course we are taking all of the Delirium wheels without the chance to spawn Delirium, because I will be using a Scarab for that. Now the most important one being the Delirium chance has to grant you Delirium orbs. We're taking here the Quant wheel, and I wanted to take the trapping carapaces, because this will give us more chance to drop ambush scarabs, because ambush scarabs are the most expensive. And of course we'll be taking remarkable relics for chance for our scarabs to be of the less common varieties. Now as for the bossing part of this, we're gonna be taking these nodes right here for a chance to drop conqueror maps, synthesized maps, and shaper or guardian maps. And of course we're taking singular focus to focus on one map. I'm going to put Jungle Valley, because Jungle Valley is a very nice layout to run, and when people run them with Exarch or Ether altars, they will not spawn the boss altars. This is very nice for people who are farming Divine Orb altars. Now when it comes to Delirium, we're taking the increased progress rewards, because the more progress we have, the more chance we have to drop better gear from Delirium, and of course more Delirium orbs. Let's talk about the Scarabs. We're gonna be using Delirium Scarab just to get the Delirium mirror in our map. We're gonna be using 2 Delirium Scarabs of Mania in order to our metals to fill faster. This is 100%, so we're going to be having 200%, and this stacks with our tree. Of course, we have here about 10% on each node, and of course we're taking this node right here for when we kill the boss, we get an extra reward progress. Now as for the other Scarab, we're taking Delirium Scarab of Paranoia. This will make that our Delirium channel 2 additional reward type. We're going to be using 2 of those at the same time. So we're going to be having a minimum of 5 reward types. This will have a chance to increase from the tree as well. Now I have here 104 maps. This is a somewhat costly investment. We're talking, I spent 1100 chaos on the maps themselves. The Scarabs cost me 104C for the Delirium Scarabs, 208C for the Delirium of Mania Scarabs, and the ones that are very expensive being the Delirium Scarabs of Paranoia. This cost us 625 chaos. Now as for the map craft, we're gonna be crafting the heist option on the map, being 6 chaos per craft. This brings our total investment for 104 maps to 2673 chaos, or 17.8 divine at the time of recording. Now of course you're gonna need a strong build to run that. However, if you just want to farm the bosses without delirium, you're free to do so. Of course the rewards will be less and the difficulty will be easier. Now here's something that you can do also. We can use the influence scarab of conversion instead of one of those. This will make that the farm costs less, of course. And what the scarab does is that the normal maps that we drop has a chance to be shaper, elder, or conqueror, or even synthesized. Now if you want to replace one of those with this scarab right here, this is a way for you to kind of self-sustain your maps. However, I do not find that this is very lucrative. I would rather buy a bulk, run it, sell everything, then buy another bulk. Now a few tips for you to make this farm easier. You can always drop the increase effect of map modifiers on your map and take shrines. Shrines are very nice and they can last for quite a while. That's something you can do. You can drop the destructive play for the Maven to not summon extra bosses, so we can focus on only the primary map boss. You can always drop one a Scarab of Paranoia if it gets too expensive for you, and replace that with the Shrine Scarabs that gives you more shrines, and of course you'll take them and be stronger. And what you can do is that you can end the Delirium before entering in the boss room. This way the boss will be much easier to kill. The more layers of Delirium a map has, the more tanky their monster get and the more damage they will deal. So you can end the Delirium progress before you enter the boss room, put a portal there and go in and kill him. Now of course when you finish a set of 4 maps, Kirak will have this icon over him. You'll go and click on the invitation, the formed. You will just alk it and scour it until you hit decent mods that your build can handle, and of course item quantity. That's good. I would like to run that with at least 70% quantity. I will keep rolling it until I hit the mods that I want. You can choose to roll it with chaos orbs. However, this is for when you have more currency. Of course, you can always valid for a chance for it to have an additional modifier. This will grant you more item quantity. Now here my build cannot run reflect. I will keep alking and scouring until I hit something that I want. Here we go, this is a perfect example. Let's run it. Now when you click on the middle, the Maven will release 2 bosses at a time. You want to kill them as fast as possible before it releases all of them. And here we go, you have your crescent splinters. Sometimes you'll drop some good chisels, maybe some influence scarabs, and sometimes also it will drop an extra random fragments of one of the bosses you've killed. You might also drop an orb of conflict, in addition to maybe an awakened gem if you're lucky, and also it might drop a map that's already occupied by a shaper guardian, an elder guardian, or even a conqueror. Here's an example of how many rewards we can stack. Look, we have currency stacked decks, essences, we have even scarabs here. Look at the amount of rewards that we drop from just this one map, only from Delirium. Here's another example where we drop a lot of blueprints in just one map and just 3 smuggled caches. We even hit here a deception contract. You can even get lucky and drop an expensive unique item or 2, however this is not very consistent. When we take the Keystone Destructive Play, the Maven will summon up to 3 additional bosses when we fight the map boss, and each of them will have a chance to drop this awakened gems, and they can sell for some nice additional currency. You can even drop divine orbs from the currency reward on Delirium. However, this is very rare. You're not expected to find a lot. And of course, because we have a lot of item quantity and they scale with the Atlas increased effect of modifiers, we are expected to drop maybe a divine or two, a Valdo puzzle box. Because we took a chance for more ambush scarabs on the tree, we got lucky and dropped the containment scarab. Here you see we have almost 2 quad tabs full of items. I'm gonna sort all of this out and we'll be back to calculate the profit. Okay, as you can see, we finished all the maps and we have a ton of loot. As you can see in this tab, we have a lot of currency, some chisels, some divination cards, some good awakened gems, some essences, scarabs, oils, Maven writs, a lot of delirium orbs, some simulacrums, a lot of fragments. We have here a lot of maps, some conqueror, some elder maps, some shaper maps, some good cluster jewels. We got lucky, we dropped some good uniques. And of course we have all of our blueprints and contracts. I'm gonna upload everything to Whealty Exile and see how much we have earned. However, before we do that, I want to clarify, I do not upload my contracts and blueprints on Whealty Exile because it prices them in a strange way. They are always better to sell them on bulk on TFT. And here's what we got. We have 57 deception contracts selling at 8 chaos apiece, which gives us 456 chaos. We have a total of 89 blueprints, 74 of them have 1 wing revealed, selling at 14 chaos apiece. That's 1036 chaos. 6 of them have 3 out of 3 wings revealed, 60 chaos per, worth 360 chaos. And 9 of them have 4 out of 4 wings revealed, being worth 90 chaos per, giving us a total of 810 chaos. So just with that, this is a total of 2662 chaos. And if we divide that by the current divine to chaos ratio being 160c, this gives us 16.6 divines. So just from the heist mechanic itself, we almost made all our money back. We started with an investment of 17.8 divines. We have now 16.6 divines from heist mechanic alone. So initially, all of this right here is almost pure profit. Now let's talk more numbers. I have here my 2 farming tabs. On the first one, we have a value of 70 divines, 22 divines worth of fragment. We have made 14 Maven writs. We have 12 simulacrums, we have a lot of fragments here, 2 Valdo puzzle boxes, some other splinters, 4 breach and 4 legion. We have also some mortal fragments. We made 2 complete breach stones because I encountered some breach and I did them as well. And of course, Delirium has a chance to give us breach rewards. As for Scarabs, we also drop a lot of them. The most notable ones being the Containment Scarab for 1.4 divines and the Catalyzing Scarab worth about a divine. We have 1.4 divines worth of divination cards because we drop a lot of Darker Half. This is a Delirium related divination cards. We have about 1.4 divines worth of that. We have some oils, 81c worth of oils, not a lot. We have 5.1 divines worth of awakened gems, the best one being the awakened melee physical damage support priced at 2 divines, and we dropped 2 awakened minion damage support worth 1.4 divine in total. We have about 1.2 divines worth of fossils, 1.1 divines worth of incubators, 2 divines worth of essences, 19 divines worth of currency. The most notable things is we dropped 3 raw divine orbs, a lot of stacked decks, some chaos orbs, and these chisels that sell for a nice income, and 2 orbs of conflict. Now as for the other currency, you can choose not to sell them. It's fine, you can use them anyway, but still, if you don't sell them, we are still making a lot of money. And one of the most notable things is Delirium. We have dropped a ton of Delirium orbs and they are priced at 10 divines. If you sell them on TFT, you can even make more than 10 divines just for those. Now let's go to the second tab. This tab is worth 9.2 divines. We have a lot of Jungle Valley maps. Again, on TFT you can probably get more than 3C per, but let's keep them this way. We have about 1.8 divines just from the Jungle Valley maps. We have some good cluster jewels right here, 3.2 divines in cluster jewels. I do not pick up the cluster jewels that are worth less than 10 chaos, my filter does not show them. We have 121 chaos worth of Conqueror maps, 21C worth of unique maps. All the other maps are worth about 3 divines. Most notably we dropped the 4 tier 17 maps. And we have about 100C in uniques. Now let's calculate everything. If we count the 16.6 divines from Heist, the 70 divines from the stab, and the 9.2 divines from the stab, this brings our total to 95.8 divines minus the 17.8 divines of investment. We are at 78 divines of profit. Now if we calculate the time that it took to run these maps, it's an average of 4 minutes per map. Some took 3, some took 5. I took an average of 4 minutes per map, giving us a total of about 400 minutes. That's 6.6 hours. And if we divide the 78 divines profit by 6.6, this gives us about 11.8 divines an hour. Now this farm is very consistent. As you can see, we did not drop any jackpot item that's worth a lot of currency, the most of them being the Maven Writs, and they are very consistent. We have dropped nothing that's worth more than 2 divines, so this is what you can expect from a strategy like that. This relies on no jackpot items and on no luck. Of course, this fluctuates between dropping some raw divines. You might not drop, you might drop more, but we're always at this range. So I believe this strategy can net us about 10 to 13 divines an hour. However, you can get lucky and drop something amazing, and this will skyrocket your profit. Thank you for tuning in, guys. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you use this farm to generate your currency. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask them in the comments. I answer everything. And as always, like if you like, subscribe if you want, and thank you for watching.